Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to do this iconic view of the lighthouse on Monhegan Island. It's actually the lighthouse keeper's house, or used to be. It's part of the museum now up there. If you haven't been to Monhegan, it's definitely worth a trip. It's a wonderful, wonderful island. They call it the Artist's Island. So much to paint there. All right, I'm going to begin with a wash of Aurelian yellow in the sky, very light, and then just a wash of rose on top of that. People wonder why I do this. You know, you could easily go in with some cobalt blue or something and put the sky in. But by adding this warm tone underneath, it gives you a beautiful underpainting. And when it's done, you have a warm, beautiful sky that you just can't get with one color. You know, it has that underpainting that adds so much depth to the sky. So, you know, I do it often. I don't do it all the time, but it's a great little thing to master. So go in very lightly. Try to drop that color on top of the warm tone. Okay, so we did Aurelian yellow, a rose, which makes a really nice warm tone, and then cobalt blue on top. All right, I'm going to put the water in here. There's an ocean here in the background, and that's just, I'm using phthalo blue here, Windsor blue. And I'm doing it while the sky is still wet, so the water, the sky will run down and soften that edge on the water, so it gives you a beautiful sense of distance. All right, there's a lot of rocks here. I'm just putting a few in, and just mixed up a gray, a cobalt blue with a touch of raw sienna. All right, beautiful red here in the roof. This is this is cadmium red with a drop of cobalt blue in it to bring it down a little bit. You don't want that bright red up there, but the blue will bring it down nicely to the tone you want. You can mix as much as you want. You make it as, you know, as dark or as light as you want. Okay, so I'm just painting that roof. You know, I'm not painting over those chimneys. You can if you want, because the chimneys are much darker than the roof. So, you know, you certainly could just paint right over everything and then go back and put the dark chimneys in. But for some reason, probably habit, I tend to paint around that stuff. And I actually want it to be a little different red. So. Okay, sorry, we got the red roof in. And we have a little roof on the entrance to the museum here. So I'll paint it red, same color red. And if you take that red and add some phthalo green, it will give you a beautiful dark red. Just add enough to bring it down to a shadow color. So this side of the roofs are in total shadow. Okay, so that's the same color with phthalo green or Windsor green added to it. Gives you a beautiful dark red. And you can drop some red on top of that dark red to charge it up a little bit and give you a sense of reflective light up there when you're finished. Pretty good with that brush, Paul. It's like drawing with your brush, you know. All right, there's a shadow on this little overhang from the building, so we'll get that in. Okay. It gives you a beautiful sense of light. All right, there's a shadow on the big roof from this chimney and this roof. If you're wondering why that is, I painted this originally at, it was 5:30 in the morning And this is the highest point on Monhegan. So the sun was coming up, and so the sun was actually below us, which is strange, but it's giving you a nice shadow effect. All right, this is the same red mixed. I actually add a drop of raw sienna in here to give it more of a brick look, but it's darker than the roof, so you could just, not that important really. You can see it there, sort of a brick tone, and then it has a nice dark shadow on the side here. And it's also casting a shadow. This chimney is casting a shadow on the roof here. That all helps. It all gives it a beautiful sense of light, which is important. All right, a little shadow underneath the gutter here, and then it cuts out the corner. The corner of that overhang is in light. So it gives us a shadow. This is just ultramarine with a drop of rose in there. And at the base, there's always, this is all grass, so the sun is, the light hits the grass and reflects up, so you get beautiful warm reflection on the bottom of these buildings. Same thing here. This is just raw sienna with a touch of, just mix the grayish blue. See the gutters. Some of the gutter is in shadow here, so you got to watch out for that. You don't want it all. Same thing here. Ultramarine with a little rose and a little bit of raw sienna. And the light is coming up here and it's capturing, it's getting caught underneath the overhang of that house, of that building. So there's some raw sienna up there mixing with all that violet, which gives you a beautiful warm gray. Okay, yeah. Beautiful light up there. It's like being there. I feel like I'm there while I'm painting this. All right, this is strange, but there's a shadow in between these two buildings. Same thing, just ultramarine with a little rose in it. And same in the front of the building here, it's all in shadow. All right, I'm going to put some of the grass in here. This is just raw sienna, and I'm mixing it with a little cobalt blue as it comes down, so it's a little darker in the front. And just paint around these rocks. Just shape them in. And there's a little shadow up against the house, so I just added a little more cobalt blue into that raw sienna, and then there's none over here, so. This top window is getting more reflection of the sun, so I just used raw sienna, a little tiny touch of cadmium red, warm it up. It's nice if you have a little square brush, you could just put these windows, pop them right in. I don't have one that's small. All right, there's actually a building in front of this building which is casting a shadow on this building. And it all helps, that effect is really powerful. I'm popping in these windows, just using violet there. On these windows on the building itself, you can see through them, it goes right through the other side of the building, and it's got that light from the ocean. So I'm painting them first with phthalo blue, and then I'm going to go back and put some darks in there, leaving some of that blue coming through, which gives you a nice sense of depth in the building. It feels like you can see through it, which is really nice. okay? A small gray window on the top there, and we have a darker violet here on this front window. A lot of windows, okay? All right, we're almost done here. Beautiful sense of light bouncing. When I painted this, I remember there was several deer behind me at the time. This is when deer were on the island. They took all the deer off the island. All right, I'm putting a few seagulls in there. They're always up there flying around, and you can hear them. A little sailboat. Just little points of interest. All right. I'm using a little gouache to put that drain pipe back in. It just adds a tiny bit of, a little bit of character. And there you have it. On my final painting, what I did was I just put a little water on the grass here, and you can see here, and created a path, lifted it out. I just painted it with water and then wiped it out. Okay? Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. And subscribe if you would. And I will see you again very soon.